Therefore I lie with her, she with me. And in our faults by lies we flattered be.
So I think he got dumped, but I don't think that guy's going to have too much trouble finding one. What do you think? Anyway, so that's what is our Shakespeare guy think? I'm curious.
I'm much more interested in the plays, because the plays are much more of a challenge, and they consist of multi-levels, some of which are allegorical. And I think the real interest of this technology is that you can perform the multiple layers of the text in a way that actually becomes comprehensible and make Shakespearean scholarship, which is a very abstruse area, actually understandable. And that's what I'd love to talk to you about.
Yeah, great, fantastic. So here's another one. We're repurposing pre-existing content, and I would challenge all of you that are publishing houses, there isn't one way to do this. It's not like, go hire a film crew, go start an in-house studio, I mean, you can do all that. But there's a lot of content already on the internet. And this is one that's been controversial for us, but we really don't care. And it was a very popular kids book, and we did something, we blended it with something that's equally popular on the internet, which is bunnies. So imagine you're reading The Velveteen Rabbit. So how many have kids here? I remember my little girl, I read her all these books, suddenly she wants to stay with me longer if she knows there's a bunny coming up. And so that was the idea. I don't know whether it's a good idea or not. But it's an example where there's this incredible content there that we need to leverage to create this mixed media. Another one we just did
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And the idea the team came up with is go get the original John Barrymore film, chop it up, again, public domain, chop it up into 20 different pieces and integrate it into the text. And this is one scene that in that famous part of, oops. So just a different, we're doing one right now that's kind of interesting. We, one of a guy that works with us said, why don't we do a book for the hipster crowd that are into fixed gear bikes. And the idea here is early adopters, people that are really effective, viral on the internet, love their beautiful bikes, which are made for images and video. And the idea was, let's also, this bike mechanic crowd, this gritty urban bike mechanic crowd that has its own little subculture, with the hipsters, and bands from these areas where they hang out that have never been, had their work produced. So we came up with a book called The Music of Bicycle Maintenance. And again, it's just, it'll be instructional, but it'll be entertaining. There'll be cool music people have never heard. There will hopefully that crowd, and we did a first version of it, and someone made the terrible creative decision, oh, this should be really ubiquitous for all groups, and we should make sure yuppies, like people like me who hipsters hate, should want to buy this book. So the first videos came in, and it was, you know, young people, old people, 10-gear bikes. Well, if you really want to violate the sensibilities of the hipsters and the fixed-gear bike crowd, you don't have anyone close to my age, and you don't have 10-speed bikes. So we trashed it all, beauty of, you know, kind of the kill feed, and we're going back and reshooting this. But again, the idea is to mix music in a new and interesting way with that crowd that has, you know, their bikes and their music in an interesting way. Here's some of the things that we think about with mixed media. You know, you got to pick the right titles. You know, really, Involved authors works. It just means more work, and that's a good thing. It means probably better content. There's full text, abridged. We're doing serial rights for those of you who want to talk to us. We're, serial rights have kind of been flushed down the toilet with the internet, and there aren't a lot of places anymore to do them. We think digital media is made for serial rights. So if there is a complete story in a couple chapters, and like we did with Sherlock Holmes, we can create the video. We can sell it very inexpensively. People get something, not nothing, something they value in its shortness. Like, I just read the New Yorker piece a couple months ago about the new Google book, and that inspired me to buy the book. Great example of serial rights. Why not a 99-cent app that has 2 complete chapters, where it's a complete story? I'm excited, then I go and buy the whole book. So that's an area we're exploring, and people that have ideas there, we're kind of like, we can do anything. We're small and agile. We do think you have to have a creative team here. It is video. It's different forms of creative arts that often publishers don't have. We think that's important. And also, I say publishers. This is authors and agents. We're working with more agents, as many agents as we are publishers, and as many authors as we are both. This is all about bringing those unused rights and lighting them up and creating a new market. I hate when people read the text in the PowerPoint there. You could read that. You're all readers, so that kind of says it. And the one thing about innovation is be patient, but I always leave people with one last thought. That is my philosophy with technology. Try everything. Half of it will not work, but the half of it that does work will make you twice as competitive as your competitors. And that's a proven mathematical theory. Anyway, thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much, Brad Inman. It's 1:30 now. I thought maybe if you've got a few minutes, we take a few questions.